Thank you so very much for staying tuned. Now, Nairagram, that's a leading Pan-African payments and financial infrastructure company, has successfully completed its 10 billion naira commercial paper issuance, fully subscribed within 48 hours of going to market. The company, we made this known in Abuja, said the commercial paper program received final regulatory approval from the Central Bank of Nigeria on January 26, 2026. According to it, following the completion of market preparations on Monday, February 3rd, 2026, Nairagram officially launched the issuance. By Wednesday, February 4th, the entire 10 billion naira offer had been fully subscribed, with completion finalized Thursday, February 5th, 2026, underscoring strong confidence, underline that word, in the company's strategy, governance, and growth trajectory. Proceeds from the issuance will support the firm's operations across 37 African countries, accelerate expansion, and deepen its presence in key markets, including Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea-Conakry, Cameroon, Kenya, and Uganda, among others. Well, let's get more understanding of this. My guest is the president, co-founder of Nairagram, Idris Ibrahim. Thank you so much. It's the first time on the show. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I told you earlier off camera that I read about this and I saw this as a real bold one. But let me ask you, why do you believe the Central Bank of Nigeria should take a more protectionist or strategic approach towards local payment platforms? Like yours.
For me, the payment platforms in the US, in the Europe, they are well supported by their countries, and it's what has allowed them to globalize. So I remember when the banking industry was at this same stage, and Nigerian CBN promoted and supported them. It's the same thing that Nigerian IMTOs need. Today, about $20 billion comes from the US and Western world to Nigeria, but most of the volume is dominated by foreign players. So if we give Nigerian payment companies that support, even with laws and policies, we can see Nigerian companies that can take over Africa and even go and compete with the Western companies. Because we have the volume that comes to Nigeria, and the technology is easy. So it's not anything that a foreign player needs to dominate on.
Because we used to talk one time about the likes of the M-Pesas in Kenya, I guess, how well they've been doing and all of these platforms. What really would you say it's Nigeria's challenge when you talk about CBNs maybe taking a more protectionist strategy?
I think right now there's this belief that a lot of our payment infrastructures locally are not mature enough to dominate the industry. There's also a fear of volumes dropping if we protect or say local players should dominate the market. So I think these are the fears that govern the policies right now. But there is definitely enough maturity within the payment system locally to take over the market and become like an M-Pesa in Kenya as well.
Will you be suggesting that Nigeria should stop licensing foreign remittance operators entirely?
No, no, no.
Or simply prioritize local companies?
I think that we can do both. You know, we can keep the foreign people here, but we can make policies that support the local players and give them an edge, because that's the only way we're going to grow. Right now, you can see the US is pro-America, pro-USA. We need to also be pro-Nigeria, you know, to give us an edge.
That would definitely help. Now, what economic risks does Nigeria face if it continues to rely heavily on those foreign payment platforms?
I would say you wouldn't ever have a mature industry, for example, because, and also a lot of these companies that are foreign are not locally registered, right? So you will never be able to build your industry, and you'll keep promoting foreign companies rather than promoting your own. When a local company succeeds, you get more taxes, you get more employment, you know, it boosts your economy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always better to support local. Yeah.
I'm looking at that line again. 10 billion commercial paper issuance and fully subscribed in 48 hours going to market. Tell us about that.
For me, Nairagram has been in the market like 8 years. So for me, it just further re-echoes Nairagram's stability.
Yeah.
You know, we've been around. We're one of the early ones to start. So it just signifies our confidence, the confidence in Nairagram's position in the market, you know, and we're going to use the money to boost our liquidity and our operations. You know, liquidity is our oxygen, literally, in our business. So yeah.
So I'm looking at it like there seems to be some policies maybe that might be favoring your kind of business at this time. Maybe I could also get some of my friends together and we start to think about having a payment platform.
No. It's not that. It's not that easy. Yeah, we are definitely appreciative of CBN signing our letter of no objection. We definitely have good support from our regulators.
Great.
We stay in touch with our regulators. But yeah, it's not as easy. There's a process to getting this money. You have to get credit rated by at least 2 agencies, go through a series of interviews.
Okay.
You definitely have to have corporate governance. So yeah, it looks easy on paper, but definitely a lot
Real
of
terms.
Yeah, a lot of process.
But you know, I'm just looking at it vis-a-vis all of these instruments that you hear, DMO coming to launch and is oversubscribed, this is coming. But that brings me to the fact of confidence generally in our economy. You run this business and you've seen what is, with the new policies, would you say that there's a bit of confidence in our economy generally? Maybe it could be in your sector, but what sort of level of confidence are you seeing for investors in our economy?
No, definitely. There's definitely a higher level of confidence in Nigeria since this.
Predictability, something?
Yeah, predictability has improved. Volatility in FX rates have slightly improved as well. So the rates have even come down recently. So yeah, there's definitely a confidence boost in Nigeria right now that is making investors more confident at the moment.
So do you think payment infrastructure should be treated as national strategic assets? You know, similar to maybe oil and telecommunications?
No. I don't know if it should be, maybe national strategic in terms of policy and promoting local infrastructure, yes. But definitely for innovation and ingenuity, it should still stay within the private sector. But definitely it's a strategic asset, yeah, from a promotion of policy, local policy point of view.
You think that would help it achieve its best?
Yeah, definitely. Government and private always working together will always lead to something good.
Because sometimes, well, anyway, I believe they'll say the government needs to create the enabling environment so that the private guys can run the stuff.
Exactly.
But how would deliberate government backing for Nigerian fintech firms now translate into economic benefits? Tell us about what you make of the fintech firms now, how they are faring, and of course, what you think government can do.
I think once government supports local businesses, like I said earlier, you would have Nigeria on a bigger stage, first of all. Because if Nigerians are controlling the money that Nigerians send to Nigeria, Nigerians from the US or UK or whoever is remitting back to their loved ones back, we have more say in the on the global stage. We have increased employment because anybody working here would employ more people over here. The government will see more taxes. You know, right now, a lot of the businesses that are taking the majority of the remittance volume are not even locally registered. You know, they are foreign registered. So there's no benefit to Nigeria as such, aside from the fact that they just contribute to the remittance volume. So yeah, there's a lot of benefit on that aspect to government promoting.
Yeah, so you've talked about what deliberate actions. Is it policy issues? Is it, we've talked about the enabling environment, because I see this as the next way to go. When you talk fintech, you look at AI and what's going on around that space, and it's big. You would agree with me. So I'm just thinking, yes, Mr. Bosun, the minister, is doing a lot, and everyone is talking about that. But what more can we do so that we get our portion from this pie, this big pie?
I think without I don't want to say sounds so aggressive, but I would say local registration.
Okay.
Of payments companies.
Yeah.
You know that forces Nigerians' participation. You know, a lot of African countries have started demanding local participation, whether it's by shareholding or by operations, meaning opening an office locally. I think that would be a first step.
Okay.
You know, and I think also if we allow players to also connect more freely, volumes will also get promoted and be more transparent in terms of reporting.
Now, looking again at your operation is spanning about 37 African countries.
Yes.
And you process about $2 billion in payments annually.
We have we processed 2 billion since inception.
Wow. So now you're doing more than that.
No. not annually. Not annually.
Tell us about that. Tell us about your operations. Tell us about
So so we are definitely in 37 African countries. We've partnered with different payment companies in each of these places, and we are a full API-based business, meaning all digital. So we partner with these people via API. We usually go into a country and find the best people to partner with, and really that's how it operates. And this network has been built over the last 7 years, going into each corridor and partnering with the best in those corridors.
So what more should we be expecting from you moving forward?
With the raise, you would see an expansion of our services because, like I said, liquidity is our oxygen. So we'll be able to process payments faster. We'll become more efficient. We'll become more trustworthy by our counterparties that use us. You know, people want to work with a business that can process efficiently. People want to work with a business that has institutional backing. So this just puts us in a better chance to win.
Really better chance, I must say. But what lessons now, let's talk about, can Nigeria learn from countries like China, Kenya, Ghana in supporting indigenous financial technology companies?
Yeah, all these places you've mentioned demand local participation, demand local ownership, demand local presence, these are things that Nigeria does not demand right now in the remittance space. So these are things that I think Nigeria can learn from each of these places. China now, its biggest payment processor is local. Kenya's biggest, Safaricom, they're all local. They're not international. You know, Ghana has started towing that direction. You can't go to Ghana now as a foreign company without local participation. So everybody's going the direction of promoting their local companies first. And I think that's the way Nigeria is going to eventually
Nigeria
go.
first.
Yes, now.
You remember, even Trump says America first.
Exactly.
So you mean that's the way we should go?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So we were talking about the lesson. So that's one of it, right?
Yes.
So for financial companies operating along all of these companies, so they have, I think they have something to learn everywhere. There's always something to learn.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd like to see your outlook. Where do you see yourself, your company, your firm, maybe in another 5 years?
So for me, intra-Africa remittance and cross-border payments, intra-Africa, if you do good enough with your liquidity management and treasury management, you can now be able to send money from Nigeria to Ghana and Nigeria to Kenya, because a lot of the times now we are using the dollar. Even to send money from Nigeria to Ghana, you have to send the dollar. You know, so what I hope in the next few years is we can definitely move into intra-Africa trades where Naira can exchange for the cedis directly, instead of going from Naira to Ghana to USD to cedis. So yeah, those are, I think, what could happen once you build a deep enough liquidity pool in each of these places. You can now start doing direct matches.
Because when you talked about that inter-African, my mind went to the AFCFTA. You understand? You're talking about the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, where there should be deals among African countries and all. So that means platforms like yours should really be key when you talk about things like this.
Yeah.
How has it been?
It's been slow, to be honest. I
agree with you that it is slow.
It's been slow, but I think there's progress. You know, we just, at least from when we started now, there's perhaps there are a few things trying to come and break those barriers, but you know, it's an inch a day.
It's an inch a day. Anyway, it sounds good. Let's leave it at that, and I wish you guys all the best. And let's see how it all plays out. And we'll monitor all of this development as we move on. Idris Ibrahim is president, co-founder with NairaGram. Thank you so very much for coming on the show. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much.
All right then. Well,